Good morning, children. In the present video, we are going to start with the new chapter of geography, which is chapter 4, Natural Resources, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. So, children, the term natural vegetation basically refers to the assemblance of species of plants in an environment. It can also be referred to as the vegetation that grows without the interference or support of mankind and adapts itself to the limitations of the natural environment. That is why, right from the green grass at your feet to the tall shady trees, everything that grows naturally in an area is natural vegetation. The natural vegetation, which is comprised of plants and trees, forests, shrubs, etc., provides us with timber, produces the oxygen we breathe, protect the soil, which is so essential for growing crops, helps in storage of underground water, and it is also a support for the wildlife that includes the animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. The plants and vegetation, they give shelter to the animals. They also provide us with fruits, nuts, turpentine oil, resin, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper we use. Children, the trees and plants need soil, water, and suitable climatic conditions to grow. So, the plant growth basically depends upon the climatic conditions like temperature and rainfall, as also the factors like relief, altitude, and soil, which influence the plant growth. When we talk about the climate, it is a term which includes three factors, namely temperature, sunlight, and precipitation or rainfall. Each of these three factors has a direct influence upon the natural vegetation and wildlife around it. We will first try to understand about the first climatic condition, which is temperature, and about its impact on the natural vegetation and growth of plants. So, children, the different species of plants require the varied temperatures for their growth. For example, in cold areas such as Himalayan slopes, fall in the temperature affects the types of vegetation and plant growth. That is why you would find trees such as fir, which have needle-like leaves which protect them from cold weather around them. Also, the regions like deserts which experience the hot climatic conditions actually support the growth of plants like cactus and aloe vera. Generally, the moderate temperature suits the growth of plants. Similarly, variation in sunlight due to variations in the duration of the altitude and seasons, as also the other factors, can lead to a change in the plant growth. Let us now quickly understand about how the precipitation or rainfall influences the plant growth. Children, areas with ample or adequate rainfall support the growth of more number of trees, whereas the regions of moderate to low rainfall actually support the vast grasslands which grow in these regions. Not only this, the dry regions with very little or almost no rainfall support very little vegetation of thorny bushes and scrubs. Children, few minutes back I already told you about the additional factors apart from these climatic conditions like relief and soil, which also influence the growth of vegetation and plants. The term relief refers to the land and soil characteristics of an area. The nature of the land influences the type of vegetation. For example, fertile soil and land is favorable for agriculture, whereas undulating land and rough terrains are areas where grasslands grow and give shelter to a variety of wildlife. In the same manner, the different types of soil provides the basis for different types of vegetation. For example, the sandy soil of deserts, it supports the growth of plants like cactuses and aloe vera, as also the thorny bushes. Whereas the wet marshy soil supports the growth of mangroves, and the soil on the hilltops support the growth of coniferous trees. So children, depending upon the varied climatic conditions needed for the growth, the broad belts of natural vegetation can be classified under the three heads, namely the forests, the grasslands, and the shrubs. The various forests of the world include the tropical evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forests, temperate evergreen or mixed forests, Mediterranean forest, temperate deciduous forests, and coniferous or taiga forests. So children, we will first start studying about the tropical evergreen forests, also known as the rainforests. These are found near the equator and close to the tropics. These areas receive more sunlight, as a result of which there is a speedy flow of radiation which produces consistently high temperatures throughout the year. The high temperature means that the evaporation happens at a faster rate, resulting in frequent rainfall. Hence, it rains throughout the year in tropical rainforest. The high rainfall and year-round high temperatures are ideal conditions for vegetation growth and support a luxuriant type of vegetation. The tropical rainforests are generally found in the equatorial lowlands of Amazon in South America, Congo or Zaire Basin of Central Africa, Malaysia, Indonesia in Southeast Asia, and in the islands of Indian and Pacific Ocean. They can also be seen or found in the tropical monsoon lands of areas with very heavy rainfall, which include India, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar. Children, in Amazon lowlands, the forests are so dense and extravagant that a special term selvas is used to describe them. These forests are characterized by dense growth of trees without much space as between them and are all competing for sunlight. Also, the thick canopies of closely spaced trees do not allow the sunlight to penetrate inside the forest even in the daytime. Children, if you remember, I already told you that these forests have or are characterized by variety of species. These species produce valuable hardwood such as mahogany, rosewood, ebony, ironwood, greenheart, rubber, etc. Though the forests have great potential in hardwood and timber resources, commercial extraction is difficult. The reasons for this are that the trees in these forests do not occur in homogeneous or pure stands. Also, some plants known as lianas are vines which are rooted in the soil and grow up the tree trunks all the way into the canopies where their leaves can get more sunlight. Also, the forest is so luxuriant that it is quite a problem to clear the small patches in them and even difficult to maintain them. Roads and railways constructed through the equatorial lands have to be cut through these forests, and once completed, they have a high maintenance cost. Those who maintain them are often required to encounter wild animals, snakes, and insects. Therefore, many remote parts of Amazon basin and Congo are without modern communications with river as the only natural highways. That is why the various factors, including the lack of transport means to travel deep into these forests, have made their trees difficult to be used commercially. The second type of forests that we are going to study about are the tropical deciduous forests, also known as the monsoon forests, due to the reason that they experience warm and humid climate with seasonal rainfall. These forests are generally found in South and Southeast Asia, mainly in the Indian subcontinent. They are also found in some parts of southeastern USA, Chile in South America, East Africa, and northeastern Australia. The characteristic features of these forests include that they are the regions which experience seasonal changes. The trees of these forests shed their leaves in dry season to conserve water. Trees like sandalwood, teak, sal, ebony, bamboo, etc. are common trees which are found here and are commercially important trees. The forests are not very dense. Also, they have thick undergrowth. Not only this, the cheap labor and better transport, mainly by floating logs down the river, are the various advantages here which make the commercial exploitation of these forests possible. The next ones are the temperate evergreen forests, which are found in the continents in temperate zones or belts. Children, a temperate zone is that part of the earth's surface which lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, or the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. Some of these continents lying in the temperate zones, which comprise of the temperate evergreen forests, include the southeastern Brazil, southeastern USA, southern China, southern Japan, southeastern Australia, and many more. These forests experience the cool winters and receive rainfall throughout the year. They are also termed as mixed forest due to the fact that they comprise both the broad-leaved hardwood trees, deciduous trees, shrubby undergrowth and conifers, as also the softwood trees like oak, pine, eucalyptus, etc. The timber wood from these forests is used for commercial purposes, and the forests of USA are largely exploited for commercial purposes. After this, the next type of forests are the Mediterranean forests, which are found in the areas around the Mediterranean Sea, which include southern France, Italy, Yugoslavia, Greece, Turkey, and also in California in USA, central Chile, southeastern Africa, and southwestern Australia. These forests usually experience hot and dry summers and mild and wet winters. So long as the characteristic features of the Mediterranean forests are concerned, the trees in these forests usually have the tendency of adapting themselves to dry summers with the help of their thick barks and wax coated leaves, which in turn help them to reduce transpiration. Also, the plants have long tap roots to reach the underground water. Children, usually very little vegetation and plant growth takes place during the winter season. These forests are also known as the orchids of the world because of the availability of citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, lime, peaches, plums, nuts, grapes, etc. And all these are exported throughout the world. The curry leaves from eucalyptus forests of Australia and coke from Portugal are some of the very important forest products that are also exported. Now, children, as we go towards higher latitudes, there are another type of forests which are found. These are the temperate deciduous forests found in the northeastern USA, Western Europe, and certain parts of Japan, Korea, and New Zealand. These regions have cool winters and receive moderate rainfall. The trees of these forests usually shed their leaves and also change the color of their leaves once in a year, that is, in the autumn season. The common trees which are found here include oak, ash, beech, etc. The forests are not very dense and thereby facilitate commercial exploitation. And most of the forests of these temperate regions have been cleared for the purposes of settlement, cultivation, and other industrial activities. Now, children, the last type of forests that we are going to understand and study about today are the coniferous forests or the taiga forests. These are found in the areas of high latitudes across North America and Eurasia, and also in the regions of higher latitudes which include northern USA, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Russia, etc. These forests are generally the ones which face the climatic conditions like short warm summers and extremely cold winters. Children, these forests consist of tall softwood evergreen trees which are conical in shape. The trees are evergreen and grow apart from each other. These trees comprise of needle-shaped leaves and are found in large groups. Timber is the main product of these forests. Also, lumbering is the common activity. Softwood available in these forests is used for manufacturing paper pulp, packaging materials, matchboxes, plywood, etc. That is why commercially these forests are the most important ones in the world. Okay, children, thank you.